Thanks for checking out this video. We're really tiny right now. We are just getting started on YouTube, and we hope you'll stick around and be part of our journey.
Geekville Radio.
So just how did Palpatine convince an entire galaxy that the Jedi were traitors? That is the subject of this edition of Geekville Radio. We just got done with the first season of Maul Shadow Lord, and I was seeing some of the feedback on the interwebs about the fallout of Order 66 and its effect on the Jedi, and just how many Jedi there were and how many survived the purge, because there's people saying, well, how could there be all these Jedi around after Order 66? And I think it does deserve a full breakdown. And that is, how did the Jedi, thousands of them, get so easily branded as traitors? As Obi-Wan said,
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the dark times. Before the Empire.
So it's a question a lot of people have, and it seems strange on the surface, like there were thousands of Jedi Knights. Surely somebody would have vouched for them. Surely propaganda would not have worked that fast, right? Well, picture the height of the Republic. There's no massive galaxy-spanning wars, no Sith conflicts, temples and outposts everywhere. And how many Jedi were there keeping the whole thing from falling apart? Roughly 10,000. Yeah, 10,000 knights and masters, plus Padawans, younglings, all that. And that does come from Star Wars Rebels. Kanan Jarrus does tell Ezra that there were around 10,000 Jedi Knights defending the galaxy before Order 66. It lines up with prequel-era lore. Not 100,000, not 1,000,000, 10,000.
10,000?
Now, the Republic itself, remember, a galaxy is big, and not like, oh, wow, Texas is big. The Attack of the Clones crawl mentions that several thousand systems were seceding. Count Dooku brags that 10,000 more will join the Separatists. Older references talk about 24,000 systems with direct Senate representation. But overall, tens of thousands to a couple 100,000 relevant systems under meaningful Republic influence. So that's not even one Jedi per system. That's a ratio where most star systems would never have had a Jedi physically present at all, ever, in their entire history. But wait, there's more. It gets more staggering than that. Planets have population. And we're not talking millions here. We're talking billions per world. Coruscant alone had over 1 trillion inhabitants. 1 trillion on one planet. The one city that spanned the entire planet. There's no quiet. It's like Times Square, but the whole planet. And it would never end. So think about that. One Jedi responsible for the equivalent of an entire sector's worth of problems. A single lightsaber-wielding diplomat mediating disputes across worlds that might have had billions of beings each. No wonder they were so selective. Force sensitivity isn't exactly common. One Jedi could do what an army couldn't. Negotiate a treaty, sense a hidden threat, or pull off the heroic I have a bad feeling about this moment. Now, to give this real-world comparison, Earth's population right now, as of this recording in May, in the year of our Lord 2026, Earth's population is about 8 billion people. If we scale the Jedi ratio purely by population, how many Jedi would we have? Well, the galaxy had quadrillions of beings, but let's keep it simple with planets. One Jedi per 130 Earth-like worlds. If Earth were just one planet in that mix, we'd be lucky to have a fraction of a Jedi, maybe one every few centuries. Imagine if the only peacekeeper in the entire planet was a single guy with a glow stick showing up once a generation. Sorry, folks, Master Yoda's busy on Coruscant this millennium. Handle your own wars. Or maybe a better analogy. If we pretended the countries were like planets, the Jedi Order would be like having 1.5 UN Secretary Generals with superpowers for the entire planet. Or picture the entire U.S. military. Millions of personnel reduced to just 10,000 elite special operatives expected to handle every diplomatic crisis, natural disaster, bar fight, you name it. You know what that ratio is? That is very small, statistically invisible. The average being in the galaxy had a better chance of being struck by lightning twice in the same night than ever seeing a Jedi in person, let alone watching one fight. With ratios like that, it's a miracle the Republic lasted as long as it did. The Jedi weren't an army. They were more like the galaxy's overworked customer service reps. Imagine that. Thank you for holding. Your sector's civil war is important to us. Please enjoy this hold music from the Mon Calamari opera while a single knight tries to talk down both sides. The vastness is why even 10,000 felt thin. Order 66 turning those 10,000 into fewer than 100 survivors almost overnight. So when Palpatine put out the narrative that the Jedi had attempted a coup, that they were traitors, Most people in the galaxy had absolutely no frame of reference to push back. They'd never met a Jedi. Maybe they'd heard stories, maybe seen a holo news segment once. The Jedi were essentially mythological figures to the average citizens. Like if you tried to defame a legend, most people don't have a personal experience to say, no, that's wrong. They just heard the news and moved on. And that's exactly what Maul Shadow Lord was illustrating on a micro scale. Captain Lawson was a rare exception. He personally worked with a Jedi. He had first-hand experience. He knew the truth. And that's precisely why he's one of the few people willing to stand up and say, wait, something ain't right here. The rest of the galaxy, they just accepted it. Because to them, the Jedi weren't real people. They were icons, and icons are easy to rewrite. So the next time you're watching the prequels and wondering why there aren't more Jedi running around, remember the math. 10,000 lightsabers trying to hold together a million worlds. It wasn't a failure of numbers, it was a testament to how much one well-trained Force user could accomplish, until politics, hubris, and a certain hooded Sith Lord decided otherwise. So that's going to do it for this edition of Geekville Radio. I certainly appreciate you taking the time to watch and listen to this little rant here. Let us know how we did. Give us a like, give us a follow, hit me up in the comments. Tell me if you think I'm wrong, or maybe I got some numbers wrong. It's very possible I got some numbers here wrong. And I'm certainly willing to be set straight if I got something wrong. We got more content coming up here soon, so stay tuned. I'm going to shut down the power here in the Geekville Radio studios, and we will see you in the next episode.